Hey there, welcome. It's Tuesday. This is our weekly live stream. And, I've talked about on camera confidence. I've shared tips before to help you to be more confident in your presence on camera in the past. But there's a reason why we have to keep talking about this. And tonight I'm going to share with you three additional tips, three more tips to help you to be more confident when you go on camera. So I want to welcome you. My name is Tanya Smith, and this is Get Noticed with Video Live, our weekly live stream show. When we come back in just a few short seconds, I will make sure to talk about some tips that will help you to really develop your presence and to get past that fear of going on camera. I'm super excited to welcome you this evening to the show. See you in just a few seconds. Hey, everybody, again, it's Tanya Smith of Get Noticed with Video, and this is our weekly live stream show. I am super excited and thrilled to be back with you tonight. I know we've been a little off schedule recently, and this happens to be a holiday week, so I definitely have to give a shout out to my friends and VIPs in the VIP room. So let me make sure I do that really quickly here before we dive in. And I need to say hello to Michelle. Good to see you, lady, as always. And then Miss T, Atia. Hi, happy holidays to you as well. So I know we'll have a few more folks that are going to be joining us in just a few minutes in the VIP room. If you're not familiar with what that is our Facebook group. Our video VIPs are over on Facebook. And let me make sure to share with you how to join us and become part of our community. It's a community where we're helping service providers to simplify how you stream so you can serve more people. And that's what I do every week in these videos. So if this is your first time, I want you to just put hashtag newbie. If you're old school, I want you to put hashtag old school or OG so that I can acknowledge you as well. Thank you once again for showing up. Miss LaShawn, it's good to see you. And yes, ma'am, whoop, whoop. That's my favorite saying. So, we're here tonight to talk a little bit about confidence building, and I'm going to share a little bit more about that in just a second. Before I do that, let me make a really quick announcement and share for those of you who are in my VIP community that this coming weekend on Saturday, this is kind of a pop up. So, we didn't have it on our planned calendar at the beginning of the month. But what I'm going to do is to host a 45-minute or so mini coaching session. We're going to just talk a little bit about planning and getting ourselves ready to do more video in 2021. So I have some thoughts on that, and I'll share some things that I'll be doing with my strategy for video. And I want to hear from you and get your questions. Again, this is only exclusively open to those who are part of my community at the Facebook group for video VIPs. So if you are new and you want to make sure you get notifications as we go live, make sure that you sign up for notifications. Just click the bell at tanyasmith.live and you will never, ever miss a beat. We'll make sure that you know when we go live. All right. Be sure to also like and subscribe and leave a comment. If you've got a question or a comment during this presentation session, our conversation, then feel free to leave that as well. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about, and I see a number of my OGs in here. We're going to talk a little bit about confidence building. So let me make sure I turn this off real quick here because I'm going to share some points with you that we've shared in a number of different ways. But ultimately, here's the reason why it's so important to keep talking about confidence. Confidence is one of the biggest barriers to doing more video. It's one of the reasons why many of us have made the decision, because that's what you're doing. You're making the decision to hold yourself back from sharing your gifts and your messaging with the world. We want to make sure that you get your message out to the world, to those who need it, because somebody needs to hear what you have to say. Somebody can use that to transform their own life, their business, their career, their health, their wellness, their relationships. Whatever it is you as a service provider provide, one of the best potential ways, one of the best vehicles for you to get that information to them is through video. I strongly believe that, and I can tell you that having done this now for more than a year, I committed to doing one live or two lives a week for an entire year. For more than a year, I've been doing that, and it has changed so many lives dramatically. And speaking of changing lives, I want to also give a really quick shout out to my live stream Liberation Lab finishers. We just finished up our 4-week coaching program this week, and I'm so excited and thrilled about seeing you get your live stream shows out into the world. So confidence is one of the biggest barriers. It's one of the things that keeps us from connecting with our audience. It's one of the things that keeps us from engaging with people that otherwise we never would have met had it not been for our live stream show. Many of you who are watching right now, I met you through this weekly live stream and through the community that we've built as a result of that. So don't block the blessing by not doing what it takes to overcome the confidence issues. So let's talk a little bit about these issues. I want to do this. And happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Miss Stacy. It's good to see you, lady. Let's talk about this, and I'm going to pull up a couple of really quick hitter notes so that you can have these too. The first tip that I want to give you in terms of gaining and building up your confidence is this, that you need to give up your perception of how things should be. Give up your perception of how things should be. What we often do is we look at other people's live shows. In fact, it's one of the instructions that I started out with the Live Stream Liberation Lab program that we just did is I encouraged the students. I said, okay, one of the things that I want you to do is to go out and watch Facebook Watch, because many of us were doing Facebook live stream shows. Go out on Facebook Watch and check out other people who are doing lives that are in your niche. So if you're a relationship coach, go watch folks that are talking about relationship coaching. If you're a health and wellness guru, then go and watch other people who are talking about health and wellness tips and take notes. And so what we were doing is, and it wasn't because I wanted them to go and copy these people, it was because I wanted them to see things that they would either keep or cancel, keep or kick to the curb, right? What type of habits or behaviors look like something they could adopt into their own show, and what types of habits and behaviors just weren't a fit? Because one of the things that we tend to do, and this is just human nature, so we're turning it around and using it for our own good, but one of our things is that we tend to compare ourselves a lot to other people and to what they do. So this tip, give up your perception of how things should be, is, let me make it really clear. Just because you're watching someone else on camera doing video a certain way doesn't mean that that way is exactly the right way for you. And it doesn't preclude you from taking the reins and experimenting and making video your own. Each and every one of us has a different personality type. We studied this as well. We talked about our brands and we ran through a personality assessment, and we discovered that there were certain things about ourselves that we could really just own and just work with when it comes to our videos. I'm not that person who is bouncing off the walls. I was told that many years ago by a former employer. You don't bounce off the walls enough for me. And I've never been that person. But I believe that I can reach the people who are intended to be in my audience. I'm a teacher, not a motivational speaker. That's kind of how I see myself. How do you see yourself? And is what is holding you back the fact that you believe you have to be like somebody else? Don't watch my live stream videos and assume that you have to be like me in order to have that level of success that you want. You need to be your best self. So give up the perception of the way that things should be in your mind, because it's probably false evidence appearing real. is probably something that is creating a fear in you because you feel like you have to be a certain way, a certain type, right? You feel like you have to talk loudly or always be, bubbly. And maybe that's not your style, and that's okay. But own whoever you truly are when you get on camera. Own that, and you will attract and draw the right people, the right audience to your story, to your brand, to engage with you on a different, deeper level. So that's tip number one. Give up that perception. It's a false perception that you have. Here's tip number two for gaining more confidence when you go on camera. Number two is remove superficial barriers that tend to get in the way. Now, what do I mean by this? There are a lot of superficial barriers. I want you to think about the last time you gave yourself an excuse for not doing that video. Because some of you have been watching for a while and you still have yet to put yourself on camera. And I'm not beating you up and I'm not criticizing you because it took me forever too. I've been in business for many, many years. It's only recently within the past few years that I recognized how powerful video could be. And it's one of the reasons why I embraced it so hard and moved those things, those superficial barriers out of the way. So let me give you some examples of superficial barriers. Well, I need to do this over here first before I do this live stream. Or maybe it's, I don't have the right equipment. I need to go out and buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment, and I'm not yet ready for that. I don't have enough money right now. Or I don't have the right space. I'm not quite sure that I like my location. I haven't decided how I want to set up my background. So, all of these things, let me be honest with you, these are superficial barriers. And if this is you and this is like resonating with you right now, I want you to put a fire bomb inside the comments because I know it is many of you. I know it is. But you've got to remove those superficial barriers. These things are barriers that, again, are not real. They are not. They are not what builds your confidence at all. Certainly, they're great accessory items. I love that I've created this sacred space for myself to be able to do video. I love that. And I teach that. I teach that that's one of the first things that you can do to make yourself feel more confident and more powerful. But do not let it hold you back that you haven't set things up just right. What I love to say is that all the lights will not be green. Think about it. When you're leaving the house to go to work, when you're leaving the house to go on your vacation, you're going to meet, let's say, and we're going to pretend because a lot of this is not happening right now in this time. But I remember we were preparing for our Disney vacation. We were going to go on a cruise. And so we had to leave Texas to get to Florida to see my sister first. We had to make a few other stops along the way. And then we made it to where the port was where we would board for the cruise. Now, what if we never left the house because we were assuming that every light on our route needed to be green? That's what you're doing. If you're allowing these superficial barriers to get in your way, it's because you're thinking that all the lights need to be green before I leave the house and head to my vacation destination. So I want you to really be thinking about that and think of ways that you can remove those barriers. One way is to simply just do it. We'll borrow that line from Nike. Just do it. Get on camera. Use your smartphone. You don't have to have a bunch of funky, expensive equipment. You don't have to have everything in your house exactly the way that it needs to be or in your mind. That's a superficial barrier. Get past that and let's go. Here's the third and final tip I'll share with you, and that is be mindful of the content you consume. What do I mean when I say this? When I'm talking about confidence, I'm talking about the fact that oftentimes when we're trying to create a new positive habit, and this is going to be important too as you get ready for 2021, when we're ready to jump into something bigger, right? Bigger than what we've ever done before, and it feels uncomfortable. What we sometimes make the mistake of doing is following the wrong type of content, consuming the wrong type of information. What we need to be doing is looking at ways that we can feed ourselves with things that will help us to be more positive, that will help us to be more successful, that will help us to win. So I'm talking about the things that you're reading, the things that you're listening to. One of the books that I'm reading right now is an amazing book, and it's one of the reasons why I came up with tip number one. It's called You Are the Guru. You Are the Guru. I found it on Audible and I was like, let me check this out. And it has been an amazing and incredible boost of energy for me just to listen to this book and to be reminded that it's not always about reaching outside of yourself and trying to go and find something or someone to lift you up and to tell you that you're good. You have to, at some point, acknowledge that you have a wealth of experience and a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of things that you've accomplished that you can be proud of. And all of those things have set you up for the moment that you're in right now so that you can be at your best and give of yourself to other people. You can transform other people's lives through your own personal experiences and what you know and what you're sharing. And you can do this with video. So be more confident, build your confidence. Let me replay the last three, these three tips real quick. So the first one is give up your perception of how things should be. Things are what they are. Don't let that hold you back. Number two is remove superficial barriers that you're using to keep from doing what you know you can do right now in this moment. And number three, to build more confidence, be mindful of the content you're consuming, especially in this moment. There's a lot of negative energy out there. There's a lot, y'all. And we have to protect and defend our minds, our hearts, our spirits, so that we can be at our best when we do go on camera, when we present ourselves in any type of situation, even if it's not on camera. It may be a simple move, or not a movie, but a meeting that we're doing on a Zoom call. It could be anything. You're very welcome, Donna. You know, I don't know that this message is for everyone. I don't write my script and I don't do my videos for everybody with skin. My skin care independent consultant sales director used to say that every client, every person with skin is your client. I don't believe that anymore. I know better. And you should know too that not everything you say is going to be meant for everybody. But what I do believe is that you build more confidence by creating a habit of going on video more and talking more about your truth, operating in your truth. The more you are who you are, the more you share your story, the more you give of yourself to others through video, the more confident you will become. So I just want to encourage you to do that. And I want to thank you for watching this evening, even though it is a holiday week and you really could spend your time somewhere else. But you and I were meant to be together these few minutes. And if you're watching with a replay, then do hashtag replay in the comments because I want to know that you're here and acknowledge you after. But in either situation, you were meant to hear this message and there's a reason. So take what has been shared and use it for your good. Our motto, like I mentioned earlier, I'm on a mission to help you simplify how you're live streaming so that you can serve more people. So if that means removing the blocks, the roadblocks that have held you back, then that's what we're going to do through these series. That's what we're going to do each and every week. All right, so we're going to get ready to wrap. I want to thank you for your comments. Yes, ma'am, Stacy, I love what you just said. I'm finding that not all groups are for me. I have to connect with those that resonate with my spirit. Exactly. And I am totally 100% right there. You are so welcome, LaShawn. I hope that you all have an incredible and a blessed and safe Thanksgiving week. It is always my pleasure to be here with you every week. In the month of January, starting in January for 2021, we're going to be going live on Thursdays at the same time. So I want to go ahead and give you a heads up. Again, for those of you who are in my community, you'll have this information because you know you get your monthly calendar. But for anyone else who's just joining, if you have not been with us before, then make sure that you get connected. And this is the best way to connect, by getting on our Facebook group. And thank you, Michelle. Yes, the book is You Are the Guru. And I believe her last name is Bernstein. I could be wrong. Gabrielle Bernstein may be the name, but you have to double check that. You can find it on Amazon or on Audible, but it's been an amazing book and I have absolutely loved listening to it. Thank you so much too, Donna. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will see you next week. And for those of you who are joining me on Saturday for our talk, our chat about 2021 and planning for the year of video, then I will see you a little bit earlier. Take care, and don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, and leave me a comment or two with a question or something to just say hello. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good night.